Every culture on Earth has a myth about a hero who must go through darkness before they find their purpose. Scientists now believe this is not a metaphor. It is a biological instruction manual. Sarah was 26 when everything she had planned for herself collapsed in a single week. Her engagement ended, she lost her job, her apartment lease expired. In 7 days, she went from having a clear future to having nothing that resembled one. She moved back to her hometown. She slept in her childhood bedroom, surrounded by trophies from competitions she barely remembered entering. She cried for 3 weeks straight. Then, something strange happened. She stopped crying and started thinking. For the first time in her adult life, she had no performance to give, no role to play, no schedule to fill. And in that terrifying emptiness, something unexpected rose to the surface. A direction, a pull, something that had always been there but had never been allowed to speak because Sarah's life had been too full of noise. The hero's journey, written about by scholar Joseph Campbell after studying myths from over 200 cultures, has the same structure everywhere on Earth. The hero lives a normal life, is thrust into chaos, descends into darkness, and emerges fundamentally changed. Campbell said this was not a story pattern. It was a description of how the human soul actually grows. Psychologists call what happened to Sarah a liminal period, from the Latin word limen, meaning threshold. It is the in-between space, not where you were, not yet where you are going. And research consistently shows that the most significant personal transformations in human history, individual and collective, happen inside these spaces. Your brain physically requires disruption to rewire itself. Neuroscientists call it neuroplasticity. But here is what the textbooks do not tell you. Neuroplasticity spikes during crisis. When your world falls apart, your brain literally becomes more moldable, more open to new pathways, more capable of fundamental change than at almost any other time. This is why the worst moments of your life are also, quietly, the most important. Not because suffering is good, but because suffering dissolves the calcified version of yourself and leaves raw material. And what you build with that material, that is who you actually become. Here is the part that changes everything. Most people sprint through their liminal period. They rush to fill the emptiness. New relationship, new job, new city, anything to stop the silence. And by doing so, they accidentally rebuild the old version of themselves. Same structure, different wallpaper. Your darkest chapter is not proof that you are failing. It is proof that you are being rebuilt. The question is not whether you will come out the other side. You will. The question is, who will you choose to be when you get there? The ones who transform, really transform, are the ones who stay in the threshold long enough to hear what it has to say. Sarah stayed. 8 months. People thought she was depressed. She was, for the first month. After that, she was excavating. She read, she journaled, she sat with questions she had never allowed herself to ask. What do I actually want? What have I been afraid to want? What would I do if no one was watching and no one was judging? 3 years later, Sarah runs a small school for children in rural communities. She earns less than she did. She has never been happier. Not the performative happy of a social media post. The quiet, certain, bone-deep happiness of someone who finally knows why they are alive. Has a painful period in your life ever led to something beautiful? Share it in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone watching this needs to hear right now.